Hello everyone, welcome back once again. In the previous video we discussed about coal and petroleum. So these are the two minerals, non-metallic minerals that is there in the syllabus. In this video we shall discuss about non-conventional sources of energy. So in the non-conventional sources of energy we have three minerals, that is solar energy, wind energy and biogas. Rest of that is removed from the syllabus. So let us start first of all, non-conventional sources of energy. When we talk about non-conventional sources of energy, it is in abundance of availability. You can see that they are the renewable sources of energy. They are inexhaustible and found in abundance. Sunlight from a million years of age, the existence of sunlight is there, as well as wind and biogas. So these are the three non-conventional sources of energy, or it is also known as alternative sources of energy. In the sense it reduces the use of all other minerals like coal and petroleum. So it gives alternate energy, alternative sources of energy. So commonly let's speak about the advantages of non-conventional sources of energy. So you can write all these three energy resources like solar energy or wind energy or biogas energy. Commonly you can write it, but separately there are some points that you need to remember. The first one is that advantages of non-conventional sources of energy. The first one is it is renewable. That means we don't have the fear of losing or depleting. So the first point that you can write it, in the short you can write it is renewable or it is inexhaustible. But in terms of all other minerals like coal, petroleum, they are exhaustible. They may get depleted, they may get finished. Then we have the second one is that it is environment friendly. Here we can write it is eco-friendly. That means it does not cause any pollution. We can write separate point as the common points of advantages of all these non-conventional sources of energy is that it do not cause pollution. Alright. So here you can write it is eco-friendly and it do not cause pollution. The third one is that it is very helpful in the places of or the areas of remote places, mainly where the electricity is not accessible. So in the places like hilly areas or terrain regions or deep forests or in the deserts. So they are very helpful where the sunlight is found or in the hilly areas where wind speed is very high, or the places in the villages where biogas is or the animal dung is available easily. You can produce it, this type of energies. The third one is that it is cost effective. That means it is reducing the overall cost of electricity generation. Once it is installed, initially it will be with more cost, but once it is installed, you need to maintain cost effective. So as we know, India is a tropical country, right? Like Tropic of Cancer passes through India, right? So we have abundance of sunlight that we receive, almost 300 days. That means living about 2 months, that is in winter season, some parts of India, mainly in northern parts of India. Rest of 10 months we receive intense heat or enough amount of sunlight. So is a favorable place for producing non-conventional sources of energy. So the first one, let's discuss about the solar energy now. How the solar energy power is generated or how electricity is generated. I think you must be familiar from the sun, the electricity is produced with the help of the solar panel. So the first one, that is is that direct solar heating. The solar heaters, like some of the houses, the solar heaters are installed in the buildings to heat the water as well as to generate the electricity. And we have the solar electric generations using photovoltaic cells. In short, it is known as PVC. That means photovoltaic cells. In the solar panels, the photovoltaic cells are installed, that is able to convert the sunlight into electricity. So this in detail, just read it out. In short, I am just telling it what all things are very important and you need to remember. There are some uses and applications. So you could see it is mainly or commonly generated by semiconductor device that is known as photovoltaic cells, PVC. And these days the government has initiated the solar energy powers. All the highways or all the most of the expressways or most of the national highways, the street lights are burning because of this solar energy, like street lights, especially in the rural areas or in the remote places. The places in the remote areas, you can see there are some street lights which automatically, when the sunlight is there, it will be off, or night time it will be automatically on. Then you have some places or some houses, solar lanterns, is data in depth, and they charge it, and in emergency cases the solar lights are used during the night. As well as there are some solar water pumps. These days I could say the places in the field, mostly in Punjab, Haryana, or the places where they get more sunlight, the tube wells, because electricity will be costing more amount of money to give, right? So what happens, those who can afford it, or once it is installed for pumping waters, the solar panels are used, need to maintain that. So many of the places it is there. So using solar water pumps are very common these days, as well as the railway signal systems. The railway signal systems are also slowly the electrification of that is converted into solar energy. So all these things are there. So now let's see what are the advantages of solar energy. Already have discussed advantages of non-conventional sources of energy. There is the resemblance of those will be there, similar points will be there. So you need to remember, the first one you should remember is that it do not cause pollution. It's a common answer for these non-conventional sources of energy. And then you can write it is a renewable source of energy, inexhaustible sources of energy. So it cannot be depleted. The third point you can write, it requires little maintenance. It requires little maintenance. Once it is installed, it requires little maintenance. The government also has introduced generous tax, not that much tax is taken from this generation of solar energy. Now let's see the disadvantages of solar energy. What are the disadvantages of solar energy? First of all is the fact that it can be used only during the daytime. So it cannot be used during the night. So it cannot be used during the night. That is the first point of that. It suffers mainly when there is a cloudy cover or cloud cover will be there. The sunlight will not be received, so it will be affecting the generation of solar energy. Then we have the common one that you could write is that it is expensive. So the solar energy, or buying the solar panels or wind energies, installing the wind energy or the biogas, these are in the beginning it is expensive. Then you need to have the maintenance of that. Then we have the efficient solar cells only convert 20% of the sun rays to electricity. So efficient solar panels or solar cells convert only 20%. So but what is the main use of this non-conventional source of energy? You need to save the mineral resources which can be likely to get finished. So that's why it is known as alternative sources of energy. All right, to save the all other mineral resources, this energy has to be used. So the last one, that is quite expensive. So it is a bit expensive, but it is free energy of use. Once it is installed, you don't have to pay any money like regularly, or like once in a month you pay electricity bill. So once it is installed, it is a free cost. You can use it. You need to just maintain it. Now let's see, the next one is first wind generations. Wind generations or wind energy is mainly done the places where wind speed is regular, mainly in the places of South India, Karnataka, Kochi, Gujarat, Maharashtra. These are the places where the coastal areas where wind speed is bit regular. All right, so they are mostly installed in that area. Tamil Nadu is the main place where solar this wind energy is produced. So in that sense, like fan, like windmills are installed. You could see the picture over there. So that is turning, and there is a turbine that is fixed, installed, and the electricity of is produced, and from the transformer, in every windmill there will be transformer, from there electricity is supplied. So the advantages of wind power, as we see that non-conventional energies are the same as it is. So the first one is, it is a clean energy source. That means it do not cause any pollution, or it do not emits any gases emissions. Okay. Then wind power is captured efficiently. With today's technology, wind turbines can be placed in a wide variety of locations like deserts and oceans. So it is most suitable in the deserts and nearby the coastal areas, oceans areas, or seashore areas. It is very helpful. The next point is, it is very helpful in the remote areas that cannot connect to the electric power, or it's like often in the coastal areas, electricity, because often cyclonic effects takes place, some natural disasters takes place, sometimes floods, sometimes the cyclones. So electricity is bit expensive to install those areas. So these alternative sources of energies are favored to install in that areas. The last point, that is very common point, is that it do not cause any pollutions. All the non-conventional sources of energy, this is the first advantage you need to write, is that it do not cause any pollution, and the disadvantages is that it is expensive. Now let's see disadvantages of wind power. The first one is, wind turbines fall mercy to local wind patterns. Sometimes local wind will be affecting the wind directions of that area, so it will be affecting the speed of the wind patterns or wind turbines. Then you could say it is expensive. You can write. So areas in which wind is not very strong or very frequent may not be benefit for the construction of wind power facilities. So it cannot be installed everywhere. That is one disadvantages. So it can be installed only places where the wind speed is there, mainly in the desert areas and in the ocean areas or nearby the coastal areas. Now we have, next one is biogas. Biogas generations mainly installed in the villages, and the biogas from the animal dung or cow dung that is used, and mainly used for lighting bulb, or it is for cooking purposes. It is mainly used in the village areas. So let's see the advantages of biogas. First of all, it is sustainable source. That means it will not get exhausted. It is renewable or inexhaustible. From the biogas, energy uses like organic material are raised for its productions. Crops and residues in agriculture and forest are sustainable source of biogas. So the organic materials can be used for generation of this biogas. Next is B is that reducing pollution. Though it gives bit foul smell, but it is not polluting the environment. It is no pollution gases are there, right? Next one is cost effective. Initially it is bit expensive to install, but it needs to maintain little maintenance. Biofuels are cleaner fuels, which means they produce fewer emissions or burning, hence do not cause any pollution. They are easily available and are cost effective. Then used as fertilizer. Once the biogas is used for the energy resources, the residue of that, the remaining of this cow dung can be used as the fertilizer, or that can be used in the field. Then we have, that means double benefit is there. So we have reduced dependence on foreign oil, that is alternative sources of energy. It reduces, it saves tons of the fuel, petrol or diesel, right? So when it is used in the villages mainly. It can be installed in very small scale or individual basis. It is mainly installed in an individual basis. That means each houses can be installed. Many of the houses in the village, in my village also there are some biogas, this energy that is used for cooking and that is used for lighting the bulb. Then we have disadvantages of biofuel or biogas. High cost of productions. Once it is in the beginning, initial stage is bit high cost of productions. Then we have use of fertilizers. Biofuels are produced from crops and these crops need fertilizers to grow better. These fertilizers may cause water pollution. So what all the minerals that is there in the biogas residue of that, so those fertilizers are used, then they cause water pollutions. That is one of the main reason. Large area. A typical biogas plant requires a large area for its installations. So when the area like area is dug, a pit is dug and that is installed for the inorganic materials are fermented, then only that is rotten up, then only it will be produced as the biogas energy. So that needs large area. All right. So remember that these three non-conventional sources of energy, that is solar energy, wind energy and biogas energy, we need to learn it. So rest of that like tidal energy and nuclear energy, or that is geothermal energy, is not there in the syllabus. You don't have to learn it. So prepare well for the pre-board, and any doubt, any clarifications you have, please do ask in WhatsApp. Thank you so much. I remain.